Hello, and welcome to our very first episode of the Polcast. Unofficially. Officially, we'll see. This is my first episode, so things might switch around. We'll see. But today, I thought we could start off by getting to know each other a little bit. I want to talk about one of my absolute favorite pieces of media to ever grace this earth. Almost 10 years since it finished, 2015, February. That's when the last episode aired. But it's still to this day one of the crowning jewels of animation to me, okay? And I want to preface that saying all of what I say, I'm biased. Like, this is purely my opinion. And I'm objectively right. But I do gotta say it's my opinion. Like, this ranking, as you can see, I have my tier list. And I have different categories for each episode. We're gonna rank them, of course, as you can see, tier list. That's what we're doing today. And I have them by peak fiction, which is absolute like god of an episode. Like, that is media. Okay, that is what stories were created for. Then we have 10s across the board, pretty good, amazing, show stopping. Then we have pretty great, which again, self-explanatory. Good episode. I'll take it. Then, I'll allow it. Maybe not my favorite thing ever, but it's pretty good still. Like, it's good. I'll watch it. Meh, I don't really care about this episode. And then at the bottom, we have Summerween. And now, right off the bat, I'm already saying something controversial. I know people love Summerween. Not me. Okay? I don't know what it is about it. I cannot explain it. Again, these are all my opinions. But I have a vendetta against it. I don't like it. Don't ask me, okay? Anyway, so let's get into it. While we're at it, Gravity Falls, yeah. As I mentioned, I think it's one of the first fandoms I can really, like, remember getting into, like, from day one, where I was like, wow, this is show-stopping. Mind you, I was 12. Because Gravity Falls premiered 2012, summer 2012. I don't remember the exact day. It must have been, was it June or was it August? I don't remember. But I watched the first episode a little bit after it had come out. Because it aired in Disney Channel. I was like, now this, okay? This, and then down I went, okay? Because one thing about me is if I like something, I commit. And this grabbed me. It grabbed me by the ankles. It shook me, and it took me for the ride of a lifetime. I'll tell you, like, by the time I was, like, this show stopped airing in 2015, so I was 14. I went on a ride with this, okay? I did. Well, February 2015, so I was like, 15. So, yeah. And it's also a show that I have shared with my cousins, with my brother, with my best friend. This is a show that I love it. I love it. I will never stop loving it. Again, one of the first fandoms I can remember ever truly, like, really delving into, like, every episode I would, like, watch as it released. I would try to crack the codes. To this day, I still have my Dipper cap that I take to every Disneyland park when I go. And to this day, it makes me really happy when a cast member is like, Dipper, and I'm like, yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's get into it. Peak fiction. I'm going to try, okay, even though this is my opinion, I will try to be a little bit objective on this, because not everything can be peak fiction. To me, Gravity Falls is peak fiction, but we will try to, like, be a little bit more objective in that sense. Okay, season 1, episode 1, Tourist Trapped. Now, when I tell you this is one hell of an episode 1, it is. It is. Because, I would say it's pretty great. Okay. Again, great episode. It's rare for a series to really know what it wants to do from the beginning, and Tourist Trap knew, okay? Like, you can still tell this is Dipper, this is Mabel, this is Stan. Like, it really doesn't give you time to breathe. Like, this is what you get. And the tone is fantastic. I was gripped. Again, I watched the first episode, and that's when I got hooked. So it's really, really great start. Obviously, first episode, the plot line, like, the whole, like, Norman thing is, like, pretty tame compared to what we see later in the show, but it's pretty great. I gotta say, like, it's pretty rare for shows to just go in like that, and Gravity Falls committed, and I gotta respect that. So yeah, pretty great. Season 2, The Legend of the Gobblewonker. Controversial. I'll allow it. I know people really like this episode. I think there's some really great elements to it. I really like the dynamics Suze, Mabel, and Dipper have. I like the whole gag with the cameras. It's funny as heck. But overall, meh. I I'm not like that intrigued. I like that we get the Magakit set up for later. You will see what I'm talking about. Like so early in the season, but it's just like an episodic adventure. My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. It's still iconic, but I'll allow it. Now, Headhunters. Ooh, I would say it's good. I will say that this episode has grown on me because when I first watched it, I couldn't stand it. I was like, why is the head, like Larry King head pissed me off. But I've grown on it. I think it's a pretty great episode. It's pretty fun, very tightly written. And it's just very, I think you will see here that I lean towards very lore heavy episodes more than I do to episodic. And that's a me thing. But yeah, like it's like again, they're warming up, you know? They can do better. And they do. So the hand that rocks a Mabel, 10s across the board. I love the hand that rocks a Mabel. I think Gideon is an excellent villain. Especially for season 1 where things are more like tame compared to season 2. Like by a landslide. I think it's a perfect introduction for him. It's such also a display of Mabel's character. Like she's so kind and she's like, I don't want to hurt his feelings, and like Dipper being like, girl, you gotta reject them. Like don't. I think it's so funny, and how we go from like 0 to 100 with Gideon when he's like, oh well, then I guess I'll kill you or something. I think they knew exactly what they wanted to do with Gideon from the beginning, and you can tell from this episode, and it's just funny. It's great. I love the Heather Rocks and Mabel. I think every time I rewatch Gravity Falls, the first 3 episodes feel a little bit more of a drag than when you were watching them for the first time. But then when you get to the Heather Rocks and Mabel, that's when it starts picking up again. You're like, oh, hold on, like they're cooking. Yeah, I love that episode. The Inconveniencing, I will say it's good. It has also grown on me at the beginning. Again, very episodic. I was like, meh. But it grows on me every rewatch. I will say that it's a great exploration of like more of the dynamics outside of just Dipper Mabel. I love the gang, like Wendy's gang. I don't think they're super important characters as the series progresses, but they grow on me. It's pretty good. It's good. It's serviceable. I'll take it. Dipper versus Mylinez, I think is pretty great. I love that episode. I think it has so many funny gags. Like the whole like Baba thing. And also just Dipper like going on this journey. Also the whole thing with like, I'm not a male, I'm not a man. That's funny. I also think that people don't really talk about this a lot. But Gravity Falls has excellent voice acting. And it's just, Jason Ritter just really, like, I gotta commend him. Like, he really committed to that squeaky voice. It's great. I think it's funny. I also really, really enjoy seeing Mabel and Stan, like, as a, like, you know, as a duo. I love having them interact, like, as a unit. And the whole plot line where Stan is afraid of heights, it's great. I love it when they go back to the tower and then Mabel doesn't want to get down. That's so cute. I love it. Then Double Dipper. Oh, now this is, do I want to put it intense across the board or peak fiction? It's peak fiction. I'm sorry. This episode is witty. It's fast paced. It's funny. It's so good. Like the whole Double Dipper concept itself is funny, and the way they execute it is even funnier. Like it's too good. I love how the Dippers interact. Paper Jam Dipper is hilarious. It's like this is the, like, I feel like when Gravity Falls is at its best, it's like just like a combination of everything it does so well. Like, yes, there's like the like paranormal, but there's also the funny, and there's also the relationship between characters. Because here's when we finally get to meet Pacifica, and she comes back later. There's like, you see kind of Dipper's like crush on Wendy, and we'll get into that later because that plot line, I know just a lot of feelings about that, but I think it's everything that Gravity Falls does really well is in this episode, and it's done to its fullest potential, and I love that. So, okay, Irrational Treasure. I cut across the board. I love Irrational Treasure. I think it's such a silly premise, but it's executed with with enough seriousness that it's so good. I can't describe it. Like, Quentin Trump being a lost president and like being on the -$2 bill, like that's genius. Who else comes up with things like this except Alex Hirsch? Exactly. It's amazing. I can't believe this episode exists and that it's so well done as it is. Like, yes, it's also like kind of falls into the little like more episodic kind of adventure like one-off thing, but it literally doesn't matter. It's so good. Like every time anybody opens their mouth in that episode, it's funny. and it's so good. It's so well written. Again, it's like a silly gag premise, but they treat it with enough seriousness that you're like, oh my god, like they're solving a puzzle. Like Mabel's hanging upside down from the library. The cops are after them, and like they're in with the government. It's funny. I am disappointed, and I know that I'm a very big fan of Chef Rilla's here on YouTube. I watch his content. We agree disagree a lot sometimes in opinions, but I agree that one very missed opportunity from this episode he mentioned in his own like ranking from Gravity Falls is that they never brought back the president's key. Like literally, Dipper had the key that opens all locks to America, and like they never did anything with that. I feel like that's such a missed opportunity. Like I had never thought of that until Shafala's mentioned it. But I was like, wait, oh my god, you're right. I think the writers also must have forgotten. But yeah, it's great. I love Irrational Treasure. The time traveler's pig. I'm in between. I'll allow it in good. Because as an episode, I don't really rewatch it that much. I don't really care about blending like that. But I do recognize that like the whole Waddles thing, like Wendy, like Dipper realizing there's only one future. Like, like that's cute. And I'll allow it. Again, I'm not really a big fan of blending. It doesn't really move me. But anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Fight Fighters, it's good. I like Fight Fighters. I think it's fun. I think it takes a little bit of like it takes like a couple of minutes to get into the episode. Like I feel like they drag a little bit at the beginning. But it's great. I think it's really funny. I think the premise is really funny. I don't really care about Robbie like that. Or like more precisely, I don't care about him and Dipper like fighting over Wendy, because to me Wendy and Dipper were like so obviously by the show written to not happen. It was just like a cute, like he had a crush on her, like eventually he was gonna grow from that, as they do in the show. So it didn't really matter to me. And also Robbie's just like meh, and not because he's underwritten or anything. Maybe he could be. I don't think about him that often, so that's it. Little Dipper, I like Little Dipper. I think it's pretty great. Well, no, I'll leave it in good, because actually now that I'm thinking about it, I like the episode. Again, Gideon is in it. I like Gideon. But if I think about it, like, I'm trying to think about, like, the most memorable moment. And, I mean, Gideon with the journals is always amazing, but it's good. I'll leave it in good. Summerween, we all know where we're putting that. Like, I do not care. I know, again, that there are fans of this episode. People will say some of the best stuff Gravity Falls has ever produced. No. Boring. I don't care. I don't know why. I've rewatched Gravity Falls countless times, and I don't know. I just have a personal vendetta against it. I don't like it. Maybe it's because I genuinely don't like the monster. Like, he gives me the actual creeps. So I don't know if it's that. Like, I don't know. I have no explanation. I am a hater, so sorry. Bottomless Pit, meh. Well, I skip meh. I don't think there's any meh episodes in Gravity Falls. Okay, see, hear me out. It's meh simply because I'm indifferent about it, in the sense that there's some cute aspects to it. Of course, it's Gravity Falls, like, it doesn't disappoint. But, like, it's okay. Like, we could have done without it. It's like a bottle episode that doesn't really do much. It's just like anthologies. So I think you already know where I'm gonna put Little Shop of Horrors, but anyway. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. The Deep End, pretty great. I know this might be unpopular, but I love The Deep End. Like, it's such a charming episode, and it is, I guess, also could be argued to be like a bottle episode, since it just happens in the pool, like, whatever. I think it's funny. I think it's I want to get this out of the way. I love Mabel. I'm a Mabel stan. I know people rag on her a lot for her personality. They're like, oh, she's so, like, annoying. No, you guys are wrong. Okay, just say you didn't watch the same show and go. I love Mabel. Anything where Mabel is, like, especially because most of those episodes have her, like, actually, like, develop as a character. I don't understand how people can hate Mabel-centric episodes. I love Mabel. Every time I love having Mabel-centric episodes, because she's just such a highlight of the show. She's such a personality. I love her. And the whole Romano thing is funny. And I think it's great. I like The Deep End. I do. Carpe Diem, 10 across the board. Amazing show stopping, never been done before. Like, body swap. It kind of goes to the paranormal aspect of the show. With twins, it's such an excellent idea. The part where like Dipper gets trapped into Dipper and my Mabel's body gets trapped into a sleepover. It's funny. It's great. I'm sorry. The premise is delicious, so and it's well executed. So tens across the board. Boys Crazy, pretty great. I listen again as a fandom girly. I know what it's like. Okay, I was there for One Direction. Y'all don't get it. I was there. I understand Maple. Just kidding. I would never. I mean, I understand her. People rag on her again for like wanting to keep the boys to herself and like yeah, but like you guys are saying that in your prime. Like I was sold to One Direction, Blue Orbs, Messy Bun era, Wattpad. You would not have done what she did. You guys are liars, and I won't stand for that. I respect it, and also she grew from that. She admitted she was wrong, and she freed them. Period. And it's I think the funniest thing is the concept of a boy band being created in like test tubes, because this was also like this is a product of its time. Like this was made in 2013, and like that's like One Direction time. It was great. I think it's great. Land Before Swine, it's good. Before I would have put it in I'll allow it or meh, but it's cute. I think Stan strapping Waddles to his chest and like saving him. It's great. I think here we see a lot of interactions that were maybe not as present at the beginning of the season. I like that. Anything that has Stan, Mabel, and Dipper like growing closer together really gets me because I love the found family like aspect of it. I love it. Dreamscapers, now peak fiction. Let's not even lie to ourselves, y'all. That's peak fiction. Like any episode where Bill is in, I am biased. I think he's a great villain. I think he is one of the highlights of Gravity Falls. And for how scarcely he is utilized, like actually on screen, it's crazy his impact. Like it's crazy. You can tell me right now that statue of him that they show at the end of the show is still out there, and I will freak out. Like that is the creepiest thing. Oh, he's so good. Tens. And Dreamscapers is a perfect, like, again, it, like, kind of explores that drama, like, within the family of, like, Hayward and Stan's mind. Like, he's been creeping secrets. Like, that's where the mystery really starts to build up, y'all. Like, this is, like, wait, what's behind that, like, vending machine for real? Because something's happening. Something's shifting. And here we have the first, like, kind of, like, allusion to the wheel. And the whole, like, you just have to be there. You have to be there. I'm sorry. And, like, the way between season 1 and season 2, like Dreamscapers had theories, bro. It was great. Peak fiction. Gideon Rises. Now forgive me, y'all, but can I put in this kid? Fine, I'll leave it as 10 across the board because again I want to be not as liberal with my peak fictions, but it's a great season finale. What a finale. Yeah, like that's just an episode that is like, oh, like, it's such a payoff episode. Like, Gideon with his menacing robot, like, Dipper and Mabel, like, coming again. It's great. What can I say? It's just everything. It feels very organic, the combination of everything they've been building up to in season 1. And, like, all the mysteries that were untouched. Like, Gideon has the journals. And, like, oh, my God, the gnomes are back. Like, that's crazy. It's too good. What can I say? But now this is where the party really begins because I personally like season 2 way more than I like season 1. And that's saying something because season 1 is excellent. But it is kind of relatively slower paced than season 2. And it has like less intensity. Season 2, they knocked it out of the park. They knew they had one thing to do and they did it. Like, if you were not there in July of, what was it, 2014, when Not What He Seems premiered, you were just not there. Like, was it 2014 or was it 2015? No, it must have been 2014 because 2015 is when it, or did it end 2016? Actually, I might be wrong, y'all. As a retcon, let me retcon that. Let me check. Because maybe it finished February 2016. When did Gravity Falls? Air. It might have ended 2016, y'all. Hold on. It released June 15, 2012. That I knew. But maybe, when did it end? I want to know that. Yeah. Oh, I'm such a liar. Sorry. I said at the beginning that it ended February 15, 2015, but it actually ended February 15, 2016. Oh. Okay, yeah. So, okay. Actually, so what I mean to say, if you weren't there in July, 2015 when this episode dropped, Nobody Seems dropped. You were not there. Like, culture shifted. It was a whole thing. It's great, amazing, show stopping, never been done before. Amazing. I can't. Wow. Anyway, season 2. Karaoke, 10 across the board. Easily. I love karaoke. Such a great transition from that year wait between season 1 and season 2. And it was just, the ante was high. We find out about the black light in the journal. And we get, Grunkle and, yeah, Mabel Dipper interaction. I want to call them like a subunit name. You know how they do in K-pop, like when you like put their names together and it's like a subunit. But I don't know if there is one. And it's just like the whole number, like the musical number is amazing. Like, Friday night, we're gonna party till... It's too good. I'm sorry. Like, the writers were writing. And I have to give them 10s where 10s are due. So 10. Into the Bunker. Now, y'all, when this released... This was crazy. We were, like, the red herring of the author was in it's tense. It was crazy. Like, I was like, are we actually just like revealing this right now? But it was like the shapeshifter. And also, I want to mention that don't quote me on this, but for season 2, that's when Disney moved Gravity Falls to Disney XD, which Disney XD was like a sister network, I guess, but where they put like quote unquote edgier shows, like Kick Buttowski and like, what else I'm trying to think, like Kid versus Cat, like things that were like Disney Channel still, but like they were like quote unquote edgier, and they moved Gravity Falls to Disney XD, and that's when it really, like, they started getting away with things. It was great. So when the shapeshifter like alternates between like Dipper, Mabel, Wendy, and like then he gets like axed, it's crazy. 10, okay? Anyway, the goal for now, y'all. This episode has grown on me, but it's still not my greatest to rewatch. Like, I don't get me wrong, I love it actually. Like, if I think about it, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll move to good. Yeah, like it has definitely grown on me way more, like way more over rewatches, because I think it does have a lot of really great, first of all, gags. Like the whole thing with Big Henry. I don't know if you consider that a gag, but that was crazy. And it's funny that they're just waiting outside the whole, like, anyway. But I really do like Pacifica grew on me a lot as well. So the fact that we gotta get like a moment of her with the twins and like character development is great. It's pretty good. But the plot itself, like the whole like with the golf balls, like that plot, I don't really care about it that much. A popular opinion, but yeah. Sock opera, Pig Fiction. Like, Bipper, are you kidding? First of all, this was funny because if you were on the internet at the time, Bill Cipher and Dipper were very, how do I say this? Very popular pairing, and not for the right reasons, y'all. So, anyway, yeah, it was a time to be alive. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So people were obsessed with that. I just think like this was the writers like being like, anyway, yes, but not in the way you think, and it was handled hilariously, honestly. And I just, again, Bill, man, what a villain! It's such a great premise. I really like the whole Mabel's plot with Gabe, she's so real. Like, she just made an entire puppet show for for a guy she had a crush on. She's real. I'm sorry, that's my girl. You cannot say anything about her without me defending her. Like, that's her. And yeah, anyway, Bipper, but like in the actual biblically accurate way. So yeah, it's great. I love soap opera. I love the musical numbers, even if they're just gags. I love everything about it. I love Dipper and Mabel kind of having this back and forth between like, hey, if you help me with the soap opera, I'll help you with the laptop, and we have the whole mystery of the laptop. It's great. I don't know what else to say. Big Fiction. So the Real Girl, now, listen, pretty great. Because the plot itself, and it's coming from somebody who also had her Five Nights at Freddy's face, and by had, I mean, I went to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie in almost, anyway. But we will get into that in this channel, for sure. We can. But this was also, like, pretty apt at the time because Final Fantasy 40 was popping off, and so it just felt like the animatronics thing was like very like a product of its time. I don't know if it aged that well though, because again, like I wouldn't say Final Fantasy 40 has fallen from grace, but I feel like it's not as relevant. So it's just like okay, and it's pretty. It's okay, like the plot, but what I will say, what makes it pretty great is because I was talking to my friend today, and I was just realizing like how much I love Zeus as a side character. Like Loki underrated king. Like I know we all know Zeus is great, but he really is great. Like he's so well written. He's such a silly comedic character without falling flat because of it. Like he has that depth that we will get into for his other episode where they focus on him. Like, he's just great. He's such a cool guy. I don't know. I love that part of like him getting to go on dates and like see him struggle through that. Like that's so cute. The part with Giffany, or like that core part, like the whole like animatronic conscious whatever. That maybe it's because it freaked me out at the time because again I was in the Five Nights at Freddy's trenches, but it just never like I was like okay it's good, but it's not like my favorite plot line. Yeah. Anyway, Little Gift of Horrors. This has also grown on me as I rewatch, but it's still again like with Bottomless Pit. Anthologies. It's cute. It's nice, but I wouldn't mind it if it wasn't there. Society of the Blind Eye. Now listen, y'all. When this episode dropped, this is lore heavy. I was so vindicated when this episode dropped because I was a McGucket truther. Like people were like, "There's no way." I was like, "You don't get it." McGucket, more like McSucket, but McSucket because you guys thought that he wasn't gonna have plot relevance. I always knew. Okay, in my mind, I knew he had something to do with Ford before I knew who Ford was. Right? I was like, "There's no way he's not related to the author," because the whole like laptop thing was like a hint to it. Anyway, yeah, I was there. I was there, and like blind diving, the whole like concept of like minds being erased. Oh, yeah, they gagged me with this. But also, some valid criticism that I've seen brought up of this episode is that if the Blind Eye Society was like prominent, in Gravity Falls, why did they never go out after like Dipper and Mabel and Uncle Stan before? And that is a good point. I never thought about that until again Shafrila's brought it up. He's the one that I saw that criticism from, and I was like, wait, yeah, like why didn't they? Like at first, maybe it's because they didn't take them too seriously. Like, oh yeah, they're just like whatever. But they had the journal. So I don't know. That is something that is interesting. I also like how in the end it's just like Blind Ivan, just like anyway, goes on about his like normal life. It's great. Like a lot. It's cute. A lot of the like back half of season 2 was like when it was transcendent. Like when it was happening, I was like, "There's no way I'm witnessing this real time," and it's also so rare. I guess I will get to that when we get to the finale, but so rare to have a show end on its own time. And I know you all were there. If you click on this video, I assume you like Gravity Falls. When the announcement was posted in November of 2015. Because now I got my timeline right, yeah. I remember where I was. Like, I remember where I was when Alex Hirsch announced on Tumblr, that Gravity Falls would end after season 2. And he made it very clear to say it's ending because the story's over. Like, not because we're being canceled. Like, I'm sure Disney could have milked this for filth. But to have that decision be made from the creator itself, have it pan out, and then have it be as well written as this is a once in a lifetime achievement for such a show. I really do think so. So anyway, we'll get to that when we get to the finale. But yeah, the back half of season 2 is wow. Anyway, Lyndon's game. I'm gonna say good because again, I don't really care about Blendon like that, but the whole like thing, like Seuss's plotline is amazing. I think it's so valuable that they took the time to give him this like actual personality, because they could have just like let him be a side character that didn't have much more to say. But I would have hated that because again, I love Seuss. And the fact that we got this like entire thing of like his dad being absent and him deciding in the end that he's got his family. Like I'm so endeared by like the way he views Stan, even though Stan is a little bit like grumpy with him. Like I always love that. Like a mentor, it's so good. I love it. What can I say? He's so cute. I love Suze. I want to see him happy. I just realized looking down the stream that I forgot Boss Mabel. I don't know why it was at the end, but Boss Mabel, episode 30. I like Boss Mabel, but is it better than? Is it pretty? Is it better than Love vs. Okay, I'll put it in good. I love Mabel again, and I love her interacting with Sam, but it's not that memorable to me. But it's fun. Anyway, the Love God. Oh my God, the Love God. I don't think I've rewatched this episode that many times. Like I always, well, not always, but mostly skip it when I'm rewatching. I don't really care that much about it. Like the whole plotline with Robbie and Tamri. I mean, we all know that it has some really great gags in there. It's funny. The whole like I eat kids like that was like a staple of the Gravity Falls fandom. It still is, but I don't really have much to say about it, so I think I'll allow it. Northwest Mansion Mystery. Now y'all, when this dropped, I was insufferable. I still am, but I remember for some specific reason, this is the episode they will replay on TV the most. I don't know why. I think to this day they still do. Like in Disney Channel, if you turn to Disney Channel and they're for some reason playing Gravity Falls, they're playing this one. I was baffled with the amount of things, like horror-wise, they got away with in this episode. It was like the bleeding heads of the animals, the ghosts, the like the whole conflict with Pacifica's family. Like they went in deep, and I was like, oh, period, yeah, and like I cheered, I did. I love this episode. I love that it gave Pacifica again more depth. This, I know y'all out there, some Pacifica truthers. I did not believe in y'all until I watched this episode. I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. You have some foundation. Okay, I can see it. So, but like, it's great. I love the plotline with Mabel and the prince, and like how Grenda ends up with the prince with Marius. It's great. It's just 10 all around. Peak fiction. Know what he seems now, y'all. Now, I know I have so many in Big Fiction, but what can I say? Like, it's just the work of genius. Not What He Seems was one of the, like, cinematographic, can I say that? Episodes of a lifetime, y'all. I remember very vividly, it was the day I was moving back to my home country because I lived abroad. And my family was moving back. And it was the day this episode dropped. I remember getting up at 6 a.m, looking for streams anywhere I could find, because I was not gonna be left without knowing what happened. I was not gonna be left without knowing what happened. I said, no. It was amazing, show stopping, the like actual nail biter. I was like, no way he got busted. Like it's over. I was like, it's so over. The like mini gravity, like things that happen in the town, while like the tension, Dipper and Mabel being taken away, guilty, innocent. Amazing. The agents coming back from karaoke. Too good. What can I say? It's too good. At 12-2 stands, y'all. Come on. This kid, they had a crazy run after this. I want to actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been 12-2 stands, the episode I got up for super early in the morning. And Not What He Seems. Not What He Seems. Sorry. It's been a while, okay? But no, I'm pretty sure it was Till the Stands, because now that I'm seeing the frame, y'all, I remember you had to be there when Ford was actually confirmed, because by this time the fandom had already kind of speculated that Stan had a twin, and like not speculated only, but like basically knew it was just a matter of time before we saw that confirmation. And it was so good that even the team had to make up a fake like leak about McGucket being the author, and like Alex Hirsch acted all upset about it online. It's like, guys, like what the hell, just to, like throw us off, because people already kind of knew, you know. So seeing like the confirmation, and then oh my god, having the fallout of the two twins, and seeing Stanley on the run, and like, oh no, big fiction. Anyway, Dungeons and more Dungeons. Controversial opinion, I think it's I love this episode. Do I want to give it tens? Maybe I do. I love Dungeons and some more Dungeons. I mean, after the absolute emotional baggage that we got hit on with Tale to Stands, they said we have to do something funny quick, and they did. It's fantastic, so funny. I love the D&D premise. I love Dipper and Ford being nerds together. I love Ford, period. I know he was kind of mean in the first few episodes, but I kind of had to stand anyway. Um, Amazing. Like, and detective. Oh no, I'm sorry. Like, it just has everything. It's too good. And I know that the gag of like Princess Celestabella Bethabella beckons you in her chamber. It's great. What can I say? Like the infinity sided die. I remember like the ending pages we got, after the end of the episode for each season 2 episode. Like, I was living for that. You guys have no idea. I was in the trenches. Like, I was really bad at cracking the codes, but I would do it eventually. I would take hours just with like paper, like my cipher wheel. Oh, what a time to be alive. I'll tell you that. Anyway, the Centurion candidate, I'll allow it. It felt like a break in between like what was to come, really. And I just don't remember that much of it. Even when I rewatch it, Ford didn't do much. I mean, I love seeing Stan caring for his kids, but it didn't do much for me. It just felt like, yeah, like a filler. The last Mabel Corn, it's tense, bro. I love that episode. I think, I love seeing Mabel thrive. I do. And I think this episode just really showcased how good of a person she is. I love her. And, like, how she just wants to be, like, considered, like, pure of heart. And also, oh my gosh, like, Dipper and Mabel's, like, Dipper and Ford's entire, like, side quest with, like, Bill, like, being revealed to be this, like, presence that has been haunting Ford. Like, that's crazy. I'm sorry. What kind of... Anyway, yeah, like, if I woke up to, like, a dream of me in a field and, like, this triangular demon being like, hey, king, where have you been? I would... Ford is better than me, okay? And the fact that, like, the metal plate... Oh, my God, the whole thing... I get chills just thinking about it, but, like, the whole confrontation where for a moment, Dipper thinks that Ford is Bill. Oh, the tension, like, the way we can't see his eyes between, like, behind the glasses. And, like, he shoots the ray. Like, he does. It's crazy. Roadside Attraction, meh. Again, very filler. Did not really care about Candy's sudden, like, crush on Dipper. I feel like they could have hinted at it more beforehand. It would have been more effective. It didn't do much. It felt like, again, very filtered. I do love them like, having shenanigans, like, outside of plot. I do love that in shows sometimes. But, like, it's not the best episode, Dipper remembers the future. Y'all, when this dropped, it's pretty great. Pretty great. Okay? Like, the conflict, the drama, the absolute division of our main characters, just to, like, have it all culminate in a 3-part finale. Like, that's what I'm talking about. This is fiction. It's great. I do have some criticisms. I mean, well, first of all, can I just mention that I always get chills when the credits roll for this episode, and all you can hear is the screams of people as We Armageddon starts officially. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. There's some things that I was like, we could have handled this better. I feel like, I know that, I mean, he's a kid, obviously. He's 12. But, like, I feel like Dipper was I guess they both were. They both were very dismissive of each other in some aspects, and, like, I feel like Dipper just got, like, one-track minded about being Ford's apprentice. I don't know. It's good. It's a good episode. Where am I getting part 1 now? Where am I getting, like, the beginning of the apocalypse? What do you guys know about that? It's crazy. It's too good. It's great. It's amazing. Show-stopping. Never been done before. They really went there. Like, like, it went up in flames. Gravity Falls was up in flames. Amazing. No notes. Bill's being a villainous king, and we like his whole posse of demons. What can I say? Like, him burning the journals, gag. We're getting part 2. Pretty great. This has grown on me too. I love the inside of the bubble. I don't like how long it takes us to get inside, but, like, once we're in, and I think that's more We're getting part 1, like, the whole, like, plot with Wendy and Dipper, like, going around. But I kind of count it as, like, I don't know. I feel like I really like a lot of access of this episode, like the whole, like, court. It's cute. It's very, actually, yeah. it's very endearing. I love the siblings, like coming to terms with like what each other's fears about the future. Like, hey, we're gonna be there together. Like, that's what the show's about, man. Because throughout all the mysteries and all the like time and missteps and everything, and I feel like I love that it's mirrored with Stanley and Ford as well, even if it's just a little bit at the end. Like it, because what truly led to Ford being in that portal was that rupture between the brothers, like accidentally or not. There was like a drift between them, and it allowed like they allowed it for it to like genuinely drive them to a place where that happened. And Dipper and Mabel are just like changing history. I love it. I really like it. It's really nice. Again, I love Mabel coming through realizations and like I love it. And where am I gonna part 3? That's peak fiction. Like, I'm sorry. When I tell you that the actual wheel coming into play gagged me so bad, like, because I did, like, I knew they were gonna, like, when they actually mentioned it, I was like, okay, they must have put this here for a reason. But when they actually genuinely joined hands and, like, the pentagram came, I was like, yeah, The day this episode dropped was, like, it was crazy for me. I was sobbing, crying, screaming, sliding down a wall. I was watching with my cousins, and I remember when Stan loses his memory. Oh my god, because the way they tricked Bill, and then he loses his memory. I mean, that's like, what do you want me to say? But yeah, it's amazing. I really, really, really love this episode. The one criticism I have, I guess, is that it all happened a little too quickly, like the whole like getting his memory back. But I guess they also had kind of no choice because they like. And they were leaving and like they wanted to resolve it, like they kind of had to hurry it. So I feel like he got his memory back a little too quickly. But aside from that, like the whole scene of like see you next summer, don't even show me that. Like, like Wendy giving Dipper the hat and like the see you next summer and Dipper's narration, like watching that destroyed me, y'all. I bet you can play me this episode right now and I might shed a tear. Like that was it. That was combination of that one weird summer where like the twins solved mysteries and went around and grew up, and it's an excellent finale. And the fact that it ends with the footage of Bill's actual statue in the woods with his hand out waiting for somebody to shake, chilling. Like, that's cinema, y'all. Yeah. Anyway, so here's my ranking. As you can see, I love Gravity Falls with only a few like episodes that I'm like meh on, but like genuinely one of the best series I've ever watched. I enjoy it so much. I always enjoy rewatching it. I mean, it's been almost 10 years and it doesn't lose its value. Like, it ages so well. It's so well written, amazingly produced. The writing is funny. The animation is great. I love the style. I didn't mention this, but I love Gravity Falls style. It's so unique. It's so pretty. It's so like cute. I like it. The colors, like the aesthetic. I love it. It's everything. Like to this day, you can go to my Instagram, and like most of my posts from like that era will have a Gravity Falls caption on it. Like that was my life, y'all. Like I was committed, and I hold it to my heart so dearly because, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's one of the first shows I remember like truly falling in love with. The first one was Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans in Cartoon Network from 2003, 2006, that aired in that period. We will get into that in another video. Like, that was the first one I remember. But this one is like the second one that I was like actually like fully like consciously remember, because Teen Titans one is a little blurrier. I was younger. But here I remember being 12 and like watching the first episode and being like, oh my god, like this is interesting. And then the way it grew up with me, like, I mean, again, I was 12 when I started watching it, and it ended when I was 15. So, it's not that, like, big of a span of time, but, like, I feel like it's a significant amount of time. Like, from 12 to 15, a lot of things change, and I feel like that was, like, the intention of the show. Like, it felt like growing up with the Brown Maple, and it always trips me up when I think about, like, they're my age, kind of. So every time, like, it's their birthday again, August 31st, I'm like, oh, well, there they are. Like, they'll be turning this old. Like, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you got this far into the video and like haven't watched Gravity Falls, please do. I can't talk about it enough, and you will see that because I will probably make another Gravity Falls video at some point. But in case you hadn't watched it, sorry for the spoilers, but also watch it. It's worth it. I will recommend the show to anybody. I love it, and yeah, here's my ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be talking more about this eventually. I love Gravity Falls. So yeah, that was my first kind of run, my first kind of rodeo into this new channel of me speaking about all the fandoms I love. So if you enjoyed that, I hope you stick around because we will talk about many, many, many a fandom here. So I hope I have something for everybody. Again, like Gravity Falls, Teen Titans, Hello Boss, Husband Hotel, BoJack Horseman. I also want to talk about. I have so many things. I love a lot of things. I'm a fangirl, so I hope to have something for everybody, and I hope you enjoyed it.